still easier in your mind. Okay. Joan G. Gary. Joan G. Gary. G was for Gertrude. I believe that was after her grandmother. She was born March 18, 1938. Often I find myself loving those numbers. Mom loved numbers. She loved math. And so it's kind of interesting. I find myself looking at the clock and I'll see 3:18. You know, obviously it's like, hey, think about it. So it's a wonderful number. She earned her silver wings and she sailed out of light at 3:16. Melody told me, and I came out, and she kind of said, Mom is gone. And I told her, hey, let's say she passed at 3:18, because, you know, that's her birthday, and she liked those numbers. So as I was writing this, the Lord showed me, Suzette, 3:16. Let's put a John in front of that. John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only begotten Son, and whoever believeth in him will not perish, but have everlasting life.
Come on now.
Right? Whew. Thank you, Lord. It was like another sign that my mom is in heaven. It was such a peace that he gave me. She was born in White River Junction, Vermont, and as Kevin said, she was a little country girl in a very small town. She was the eldest of 4 children, and she was the only girl. She was Daddy's girl. She was Daddy's girl. And she loved dolls, and her dad would spoil her with a doll. She had quite a collection. She had a St. Bernard and a pet duck. I do not remember the names, but I know she talked with them often. There were 3 girls, and girls just want to have fun, don't we?
Yeah, we
Don't
do.
we? Girls, they were known as the 3 J's: Joan Ingram, Joan Young, and Joan Gary.
That's right.
Must have been a popular name at that time. I never met these Joans, but she talked with a fondness in her voice about them. Elsie Carter was another friend that would come to be more like a sister due to the fact that she moved in with her because my Nana was a foster parent and she helped a friend in need. As far back as I can remember, my mom wanted to join the Navy.
The Navy, right?
And she wanted to be a barber. I guess we can all guess why. Boys. Yeah. She said girls were too much drama, so she liked hanging out with the boys. She would tease and say that, and you just kind of look at her and go, yeah, Mom, kind of understand that. But her dream was cut short in her junior year of high school when she had to quit school and she had to play mom to her 3 younger brothers. You know what, though? Mom, as Kevin said, was a server. And you know, I don't think she was a hard worker, and I don't think she really complained. She just did what she needed to do. But I often kind of wonder, what would her life really would have been like if she was able to follow that dream and be a barber in the Navy? But that's something we just won't know. She loved music. She was able to sing on the radio, and that was really fun. While riding her bike one day at 15 years old, someone, a friend of hers, pulled up in his car and said, hey, I got a band together. Why don't you come check it out? So her and her friend, Elsie Carter, got on their bikes at 15 years old and went to the bar. Rebel anybody? Went to the bar and saw the band. She was awestruck with the lead singer. Handsome, tall.
Preach it, girl.
Yeah,
Daddy.
that was it. She was done. Boom. Dropped the mic. She fell in love with my dad. She was hooked. The rest is history. I wish I could say it was a romantic fairy tale all the way to the end. But there were many good times too. So with Mom loving music and my dad loving music, do you think they passed on any of the talents?
I think so. I think
Come
so.
on now. Oh man, yes they did. But I'm the only one who did it as a profession. I sang on the strip, it was a lot of fun. I could say Mom lived her life through me during that time. And being on stage and looking out at the smile and the look on her face and her dancing. Her and Varney would dance. A lot of fun, a lot of good times. It's such a sweet, sweet memory for sure. I keep those treasures forever. Now, Mom did want to write a book. She never did, but that's another story. It still might happen because we got a fantastic ending now. But if she ever did write a book, it would be titled How to Be a Great Mom for Youngins. For youngins. We had the best childhood. 2620 Brady
Oh yeah.
was the happiest childhood a kid could ever want. We had a built-in pool, we had a ton of friends, we had a great neighborhood, but we really had the best mom. We really had the best mom. Gosh, she was so full of life, and she loved to serve, and we say that, but you guys, she loved to waitress and serve, and we never wanted for nothing. She served us like she was like our waitress, but with love and fun, and the house was clean, and coming home to homemade cookies, and it just was fantastic. It was just absolutely the best. She would pick me up from school, and we had this favorite little pizza place down Eastern, and it was around the back, and you know, maybe that's why I like this pizza, and that's especially the smell like Fort Kegs, the yeast in the pizza. Oh, it just was so great. Anyway, so she'd take me out to lunch, and we'd have our lunch, and on the way home she'd be like, "You want to come home with me? You don't want to go back to school, do you?" Oh, so cool. No, of course not. Of course not. No, Mom, take me. Let's go home. Had a fun time. She was amazing. She also had this really cool car. She drove this old white Plymouth Valiant.
Yes.
It was white, four-door, and with this red interior. I still haven't seen one like it. And her controls were push button.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like I was in a little space car, you know. I know, right? Taking me to school, she would just honk and be like, "Hi," and she'd try to embarrass us. Hi. At that time, it didn't embarrass me, but Melody, right? Melody was the age, she's 4 years older than me. She's probably like, "Oh my gosh, help me down over here, Mom."
I never did that to you. Huh?
Oh man, she was fun, and I just loved it. I'd wave with her. Hi. And our seatbelt was the arm. My grandbabies are like, "Nani, I'm wearing a seatbelt." One day while driving her car, and my kids will know this, but this one was really fun. I almost died, but anyway, here we go. So one day while driving the car, so we're driving the car, right? No, she's driving the car, and I'm over here. So I start to choke.
Uh-oh.
So all of a sudden, she grabs my ear, and she's driving, and she says, "Raise your arm! Raise your arm!" And she's still driving, and as she's doing that, she's going faster. So I'm like, you know, freaking out. No. So it's just this morning, my oldest Marquis kind of went, and she goes, and she's like, I was like, "Come here, let me grab your ear." Oh my gosh.
That's funny.
Mom never handled 911 situations well. I'm just telling you, she didn't. Whew. But hey, that day, she saved my life.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to be here. And a cheerleader. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Woo, woo.
She was such a cheerleader. Wow. I had dance lessons. I had singing lessons. Every event, every single event. I don't care if it was from band all the way up. She was always there. My partner in crime, we were so stinking close. And I look back at a picture, the one where it's me and my arms are around her, you know, and I'm kind of, you know, with the camera, and it's like, I remember, but I forgot. Because time stole. It took from me. But that's the mom that I will remember. That's the mom that I will hold on to. And I know she's in there, but that's the mom.
Yeah.
And the holidays, forget about it. You're so right. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
You could not walk into there. You could not walk into the tree. The tree was this big and all these presents. It was crazy. You look back at the, I think that, and now it's so much that she gave us. It was just, she's just so much. Some things were just so over the top, and that was one thing. A side note, September is the biggest birth month. My mom always said she had to keep Santa Claus happy. Woot woot. So it actually is. I heard that September was the biggest birth month of baby. Okay, so, oh my goodness, it was, but not just Christmas. We're talking holidays like Thanksgiving and those, but Easter and what's another holiday? Chocolate hearts and the little bunnies.
Yeah.
That she'd put the treats at the end of the bed. It was wonderful. So that was just, wow. Mom and Dad did divorce though. That did end when I was 14. That was a hard time for all of us. Really, really hard. She married a few times between them, but she did finally meet her prince. I love my dad, but she did meet the prince, Varney D. Fellows. They had 20 plus years together. Oh my goodness, they had so much fun together. He was goofy and silly, and they went on cruises and motorhome trips, and she was finally, I could say, 100% happy. She was so, so happy. She was able to spoil her man. I mean, that's, like Kevin said, I mean, it's like, that's what she loved. She loved her family, and she loved to just spoil and serve you, and what could I do for you today? And just, she was so selfless in that area.
Yeah.
But this again would end way too soon. Varney got cancer and he passed. So again, she was alone. Alone, but she still had family and children, but not the way she could love her man. During the day, she put on her best face, for sure. And nights were really bad. Nights were really bad for her. And she just despised weekends. She didn't like them anymore. 2020 was especially hard for everybody, but it was especially hard on Mom. She was so afraid. She was so afraid. She just, and all she had was the news, and we tried to encourage her, but it was hard. It was hard. We did our best, but little by little, the mom that we knew, little by little, was gone. We tried our best. But she watched, and like Kevin said, she became she was opinionated, and she had her views of things and whatnot, but you just couldn't quite say, Mom, it's gonna be okay, or this or that. She just stuck. She stuck. Someone said stuck, good word. She was stuck. But she was watching, and that's what we will hold on to, and that's what we know. So the Lord took the matters in his own hand, his own loving, gracious hands. Mom did get a stroke. She got a blood clot, and she did get a stroke where he took her voice. And it was, if you could say a magical day, I'm gonna say a magical day, because we were able to talk with her, and it brought family together. It brought cousins together. It brought people talking to her on the phone and just go, I love you. And it was a you couldn't have orchestrated it any better in a book, if I want, it just, God is so good. He just made it so beautiful and so wonderful. I was able to say, I love you. I'm sorry. I failed you. I did. It was very difficult. But you know what? She couldn't talk, but her eyes softened, and her little mouth quivered, and her little hand grabbed mine, and it squeezed me, saying, it's all good. It's all good. And I know that she forgave me. And not only me, all of it. It was just fabulous. I don't mean to go on that so much, but how many people don't get a chance to say goodbye and make it right And I did. It was just, we did, the whole family. It was, oh man. So Mom lived her life making her choices, as we all do. I like to describe it when I came to the Lord, where I jumped in the back seat of the limousine. I let him drive. You know, I'm glad he's not grabbing my ear saying, raise your arm, raise your arm. But I did. I jumped in the back and I let him drive the limo because I don't know where I'm going. But he does, and he takes care of it.
Yeah.
The little stinker, she's going, come on, I can do this. I can do this. Flat tire, okay, I'll get it, fix it. Oh, man. So I would say to you today, who's your limo driver? Who's your driver? You want to hop in the back seat? I hope you would. I hope you would move in the back seat. Okay, in closing, with music, it's so funny how Kevin said a couple things with, you know, making reference to music, because we were a music family. My dad, of course, have his own band, and Mom sang, and all of that. It just music. So, in closing, I thought this kind of fun to do a play on music lines. See if you can hear some of them. So, Gogo was a stand-by-your-man kind of gal. She married a man with a cheating heart.
Ooh.
And soon he learned that she really was the angel of his morning.
Oh.
And he did miss kissing his country bumpkin. She was on the road again to find the green, green grass of home. She went out walking.
Come on in.
After midnight. And she did find the sweetest thing, though. She found her sweetest thing. She wished she could put time in a bottle and put it on freeze frame. I hear her life story, and I thought she was crazy. Crazy. For the love she found simply irresistible. She did. They were something. Oh, Gogo's got the beat. She's got the beat. Sorry. But sometimes she had to jump back, the Go-Go. Anyway. She was always ready to get on the freeway of love. She thought it was hip to be square. And oh, how Mama, obviously the way I'm dressed today, Mama loved the roses. She did. And she did grow them in the yard. Now, I'm going to do my best to get through this last part. It's really quick. You know, Daddy Frank played the guitar.
Oh, yeah.
And Sister played the ring and tambourine.
Oh, yeah.
Mama could hear the pretty music, and she read our lips, and she helped us sing. It was far from perfect, our Tallard band. But you know what? It was our story and our love.
Yeah.
And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Done.
Whoa.
Done.
That's my baby.
All right. So at this time, you know, we have such a peace about where Mom is. And I will miss her. I miss the mom of youngins. I miss the mom of old. So I want to encourage you today. Love. Be there. You know, talk, communicate. You know, Kirk is going to share something, and it's just things you just don't quite realize. I wish we would have talked about more things in the end, and we didn't. But I'm glad that I was forgiven. So that was the great part. And I hope you just, you know, in these things, you just listen and you learn and you go, okay, I think I'll try that. All right, so at this moment, we are going to, are you going to speak, or is it we're just opening it up?
Do you want to do a little video, or do we want to?
We could do the video.